Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Tetsuo 2, Body Hammer, a Japanese cyberpunk horror action movie from 1992 that was directed by Shinya Tsukamoto. Now I recently reviewed Tetsuo the Iron Man on this channel, so it's time to look at the sequel. Yatsu, known as the Metal Fetishist, or the Guy, holds out his index finger like a gun and fires at a man, killing him. Meanwhile, Taniguchi Tomoo, a salaryman married and with a son named Minori, does not have any memories before his adoption at 8 years old. On a trip out, two Japanese men inject him with an unknown substance and kidnap his son. After a chase, they retreat, leaving the boy unharmed, but rattled by the encounter, during which our protagonist thought his son was killed. Tomoo starts working out and is suddenly capable of enormous feats of strength. Now, Tetsuo 2 is a movie that could be described as a much maligned sequel. The general consensus from movie fans is that this sequel falls short of the original. And this is true in some aspects. As one example, Tsukamoto mostly scraps the black and white photography of the original film, opting instead to shoot this film in color. Not an automatic flaw, but if you're expecting a duplicate style to Tetsuo 1, then you will be disappointed. And to be fair, this is not quite as nightmarish as Tetsuo 1, partially due to this change in style. So I can understand why Tetsuo 2 is kind of behind the 8 ball, so to speak, in terms of winning over fans of the original film. However, on the positive side, the cyberpunk theme of blending flesh and metal is still abundant here. And there are plenty of cool images and gory transformation sequences to enjoy. Now, the use of color does create a different experience. And after repeat viewings, I actually really enjoy the colors in this one. If you can take this as its own movie and not constantly compare it to the original, I think the visuals are pretty great here. There's shots of cityscapes, steel structures and glass, lots of hot and cold colors on display, red, orange, blue, etc. Now there are some black and white visuals that are occasionally mixed in, as well as some sepia-toned flashback scenes, but this all results in a movie that is almost always visually intoxicating, in my opinion. There's a lot of atmosphere in this. Now, another reason why fans are a bit colder to the sequel is because, the story is more coherent and linear, with less ambiguity and experimentation present. Now, the plot basically concerns like an underground group of criminals who inject victims with a drug that transforms their body parts into weaponry. Very easy to follow. Now, in my opinion, ambiguity greatly assists like dreamy, nightmarish emotions from the viewer because dreams tend to be somewhat nonsensical, right? So all that mind-warping, experimental stuff from Tetsuo 1 very convincingly created that feeling. Tetsuo 2 has a splash of experimentation, a pretty good splash, but not nearly as much, so you don't quite get the same effect here. Now, on the other hand, this film is still very fast-paced and fun to watch. It's only 81 minutes long. The kid gets kidnapped within the opening 7 minutes, so we're off and running. And there's still a number of crazy, surprising moments to enjoy in this. A few of the chase sequences are also really cool. The best of which shows up near the midpoint and involves a high-speeding car. And the big fight to the death is quite satisfying. It has like a cyberpunk shootout component and a psychological manipulation component that includes some dark themes regarding our protagonist's childhood. So I do think there's still quite a bit to enjoy in Tetsuo 2. Now, Tomorrow Taguchi returns, as does Tsukamoto as an actor, and they're just as entertaining here, with Taguchi making some pretty scary facial expressions at certain points, even though he's the protagonist. And the lead actress is Nobu Kanaoka, who played the subway zombie from Tetsuo 1, and she had a big role in the Adventures of Electric Rod Boy, so always nice to see her since her acting career was very short. And as an added bonus, we get some nice production design, gory effects. The music, not as awesome as Tetsuo 1, if I'm being honest. That was a little bit of a downgrade as well, I think. But overall, I very much enjoy Tetsuo 2. In fact, If this was the first and only Tetsuo movie ever made, I think it would get better reviews. I think this movie's biggest sin is that it's a sequel that's different from the film that came before it. But yes, I actually strongly recommend Tetsuo 2 Body Hammer, currently available streaming on YouTube and Amazon. It's also available in that fantastic Blu-ray box set from Arrow Video. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.